Hi, how are you? By the way, this Sports Jeopardy thing's never going to happen. Let's just get that out of the way. It's never going to happen. Dylan Larkin, recovering from an injury that put him in a neck brace. It's interesting because, full disclosure, I'm going to confess this myself.
Okay.
I thought this was part of Operation Shutdown by the Red Wings. I did. Shh! Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody that they shut the season down. Don't tell anybody. I thought this was I thought this was part of Operation Shutdown for the Red Wings. You know how they decided to sit everybody down the stretch?
Yeah.
Because they're doing the smart thing, whether people want to admit it or not, and like improving their draft position. I thought it was part of Operation Shutdown when I first heard about it. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it wasn't. This was a serious thing.
Yeah. And it's interesting, Art, if you play the clip, you can't really see it happen. Mm-mm. Like, I haven't found an angle where you can totally, I mean, a little bit right there, but...
Oh, you can see it. Yeah, right there. Watch. Oh, he falls down. It's like he hits it. Oh.
I mean, I just don't understand. There's never a need to... He's already going down, and then you're going to cross-check him in the back of the neck.
The stupid stars with those stormtrooper uniforms, too. Look at him.
No, the injury, yeah, if you see it right here, he pushes his head into like the opposing player's gut almost, and you can see him get wobbled from it.
I honestly, I really did. I thought it was part of Operation Shutdown, so I feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
I do.
Jerk.
Jerk.
No, this is your boy. I want you to go on.
Oh, well, I was just watching the video back now where I can see it better. There's never a time for that. I know there are a lot of guys in the NHL that do kind of cross-check off the face-off, but, I mean, at that point, he's already turned around and his head is down, and then you push it down further on literally the nape of his neck. I mean, there's
completely uncalled for. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Completely uncalled for.
Do you think he tried to hurt him or just tried to just be a rough? Now, it's a thin line between...
I agree with you.
It's a thin line between, like, being a tough guy and then being a-hole. That's kind of...
If you are... I'm telling you, Joique, you were kind of busy playing football. I have had this argument for years, especially with people in this town, okay? Because every hit on one of our players, every hit should call for execution, okay? And I get that. Hometown people and stuff like that. The biggest problem that I have, how in the world do you prove intent? Mm-hmm. In sports, how do you prove intent?
Come on.
No, I'm serious. How do you prove intent?
Through track record.
Things are happening. Things are happening.
No, through a track record. For instance, when Sue used to do certain things on the football field, tee it up. When he used to do certain things on the football field, once you get, that's that gorilla we need.
So what you're trying to tell me is every time something happens, it can't be. There's no possible way it can be part of the natural game. It must be because he wanted. That's my point. You cannot. It's not black
Sean,
or white. It is or isn't.
Let me say this, Sean. When you have a player who has been fined or penalized for unnecessary roughness, we'll say that, right? And it's been happening over and over and over, game after game. After a certain time frame, like after that second strike, that's just your MO.
Well, you know what's really weird about this is, Fish, you were watching a hockey game last night, right?
Why'd you put my boy up like that?
Yes, sir.
Kennedy, you were watching a hockey game last night, right? There was a horrific injury in a hockey game last night.
I saw that injury. It was awful.
A horrific injury in a hockey game. Okay, Art, if you can find the clip. It was awful. The most frightening part is when he tried to get up and his body bent in a way that bodies shouldn't bend, and he fell backwards and like the eyes rolled in the back of his head. Okay? And anybody with half a brain in their head knows, watching the play, it was completely inadvertent. Now, let me give you some added bonus to this, just for added bonus. These two are also boys. Mm-hmm. They've been friends for many years going back to the Ontario Hockey League, and I was broadcasting in the Ontario Hockey League. This is why that conversation is interesting to me, and this is why I say no to you and Art with similar backgrounds. The guy whose knee hit this player in the head, his nickname is Rat. I'll give you 2 guesses why he's called Rat. He's done so many rat things. He's one of many rats. There's a rat family in the National Hockey League.
He's a snitch. I don't know.
Okay, he's done many rat things in the National Hockey League. Okay, you watch this play. Art will find this play for you. Mm-hmm. It is 1,000% inadvertent.
It's so unintentional.
It's one, but using the logic that you and Art are talking about, somebody could say, well, that's Corey Perry. Corey Perry's been a cheap shot artist his whole life. He's a flippin' rat. That's my point. It's like you get
right on the head.
Watch this. Tavares goes down. Player skating by, tries to jump over his head.
Yeah, and knees him in the face.
Play it again, Art.
Yeah, that's
so he's down, and then he was trying to jump over him.
And literally,
no, there's no way somebody will look at that and say,
but it's Corey Perry.
No,
he's been suspended 100 times because he's a rat.
No, so this is what happens. This is what happens, right?
God, stop playing it.
This happens, right? A play like that happens in the NFL or something like that, and it's not an automatic fine. What they do, they send you to a board. The board calls you. They walk us through this play. What was going through your mind? Mm-hmm. You explain it to them. Obviously, that's unintentional. Come on, there's no way.
But again, how do you prove intent? Because there were people saying last night that that's Corey Perry.
Bring it up. What are you talking about? Look at this man right here. You're going to say that this guy right here.
Art,
wait, what a fine specimen.
Come on, man.
Art, and all due respect, you're not paying attention. I brought up an example of something that happened last night with a guy who has been doing it longer than Tom Wilson.
So that's intent.
That's my point. Anybody with half a brain in their head is going to look at that play and go, he didn't mean to do that.
Right.
But you're going to have the arts out there of the world that are going to say, that's Corey Perry. He meant to do that.
No,
that's my point. That's my point.
That's a bang-bang play.
That's exactly it.
That's
but
a bang-bang.
You had people on Twitter last night. Trust me.
A lot
We're saying
of them.
That's Corey Perry.
You know why?
If that's anybody else, I don't buy it.
You know why? Play it in slow motion if you can.
You're asking a lot from Art right now.
Play it in slow motion if you can.
Oh, man.
No, don't worry about it.
Don't do that.
We can either do it or we can't.
Don't worry about it.
It's a bang-bang play. Yeah. But you're going to have people like Art say,
what I'm saying
it's Corey Perry.
Listen, Sean, when they play that back on TV and they play it back in slow motion, right, and they play it back in slow motion, it might look like he had enough time to move out of the way. But when you play it in real time, it's not that way. But when you watch it on TV and they slow it up, it looks like he might be able to move.
Can't
or
prove
maneuver
intent, man. Sorry, it's a waste of everybody's time.
Come on, Sean.
It's a waste of everybody's time.
Sean, listen though, okay? This image of this man right here, Mr. Wilson. Mm-hmm. Like Joique said, when it's a track record and it's over and over and over again, then that's intent.
You can't talk to us about Tom Wilson. We love him too much.
You can be a fanboy because that's great.
I want you to repeat everything you just said. That whole comment, except this time, don't say Tom Wilson, say Corey Perry.
I'll say
Corey Perry's worse than Tom Wilson. He's been doing it longer.
If you have a track record of doing it over and over,
so what you're saying?
What
you're saying is watching that play last night, Corey Perry literally meant to knee John Tavares in the head. That's what you're telling me.
Not that part. Okay, listen. Let me.
You're not proving intent then.
No, let me explain. Out of every incident that's happened with Tom Wilson, for instance, there's probably 1% that was an accident. But would you say the majority of them is because he's being an asshole player?
Probably.
No.
So good luck. Okay. So good luck. So good luck proving intent.
But I just told you though. They send these cases to a board. The board calls you, walk us through this. Okay, what was your intent? What was going through your mind? Did you have enough time to move? And then it's like an investigation you go through, and then from that they decide whether they want to fine you, penalize you.
Well, what's interesting about
suspend you.
What's interesting about it is there have been some incredible things that have happened. I'll use hockey as an example, where guys that you didn't expect it from them. Okay, and the issue is if Tom Wilson comes in, and I understand totally what Art's saying, you're guilty. Mm-hmm. You're guilty.
No,
and that's just the way it is. You're guilty.
Saying that.
No,
Darren
he made his own bed. Tom Wilson is going to be punished. There's a track record there. Whereas if I don't have anything on my track record, I can know 100% in my head I meant to do what I did, but maybe they're going to give me the benefit of the doubt. It's stupid to try to prove intent. Last night, you said it perfectly. You look at that play. That is a bang-bang play. And then you dig a little deeper and you find out that's legitimately his boy. They're friends,
And
okay? But you are going to have people. You are going to have people like Art that are going to say, "That's Corey Perry."
You're not listening to me.
That's exactly what you said.
There
You're not
are
listening
people
to yourself.
on Twitter
Around it.
saying that it was on purpose.
What?
There are people on Twitter saying
And
that was on purpose.
We're
We're not saying you. We're just using you as an example.
Have a fucking YouTube compilation like Sean Avery, Tom Wilson, all of these fucking rough players, then you have to wonder how much is coincidence.
Art, you are not, and this is where I'm going to say again, you are not listening to me, okay? Corey Perry has been a rat longer than Tom Wilson has. Just because you don't know who Corey Perry is doesn't mean that Corey Perry hasn't been every bit of a rat. He's done rattier things than Tom Wilson over the course. He's got the Lifetime Achievement Award.
I don't know. A rat sounds like a person who snitches on the people doing all the dirty stuff.
That's a snake.
No,
I think a snake.
I'll define it to you in hockey. He's a cheap shot.
Okay.
He is absolutely positively a cheap shot. There's no other way to say it. So again, Art, to wit, if Tom Wilson did that, then surely he meant to do it.
No, because that's where you're not understanding where I'm coming from. I said there's 99% of the time, he's an asshole player. In the sense of what happened last night, that was an accident.
So how do you prove intent?
By looking at it.
Okay, so you're not, but that's my point. If other people are saying this is the player, how do you prove intent? You can't. You cannot do that. I'm sorry, it's a stupid premise. You can't prove intent. You can't.
And
it's so stupid in sports.
Okay, but going back to this Dylan Larkin fiasco, Sean, how high can you hold your stick in hockey?
You know what?
It was up here.
I'm going to guess.
That's purposeful.
I'm going to guess that I'm going to hope. How's that? Hope.
Okay.
I'm going to hope that his intent was not to cross-check him in the neck, but get him in the upper back and shove him back down to the ice.
Is that much better, though?
That is.
Yeah.
Well, it is.
And is it
It
more
is.
legal?
No, but
Exactly.
Think about this, though, Kennedy. Would I rather take a cross-check to my neck or to my upper back?
Certainly.
That's what
I don't want to ever have either.
I would
truly,
hope
but...
and pray. I would hope and pray that wasn't his intent as a human being.
Right.
But
the cross
should he be punished for that? 1,000%.
Maybe not the area.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it was. To me, I'm of the opinion. I want to believe that guys don't purposely want to hurt people. Sometimes there are moments though where you can't. A stick swinging incident. There's nothing good that's going to come out of that. Right. Okay. Like the famous stick, and you could find this. Marty McSorley was basically kicked out of the league. Okay. He wanted Donald Brashear to fight him. Donald Brashear would not fight him, and he fouled him down the ice and finally took his stick and hit him on the side of the head in an effort to get him to fight and knocked him out.
Jeez.
This big, giant man, Donald Brashear. That was the end of Marty McSorley's career. Like, he got suspended for the rest of the year, and he goes, I'm not even going to appeal this. And that was his career was done. It was over.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't come back from that, right? So there are moments where a guy loses his head. I get it. It's going to happen. There are moments, I'm sure, in football where a guy did something not as serious, but even Clay Matthews grabbing your hair and yanking it. Right away he realized, dude, I'm sorry, my bad. Bad reaction, everything. If you want to call me naive, I want to believe that guys don't have bad intentions like that. I'm going to break this dude's neck with a cross check. I want to believe that. I want to believe that guys have more respect for the game and each other.